Lucid dreaming is an amazing skill that you need to know, but often when trying to start out in the expansive subject of dreaming, things can be very confusing, especially with all the fake news that keeps getting spread with the rise of Reddit forums and YouTube channels. The goal of this video is for you to have 7 to 10 minutes to try to absorb as much information as possible, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll be able to pick a technique and get straight into trying your first lucid dreaming experience. In the contents of this video, we'll be briefly going into all of these fields: recall and dream journaling, REM sleep and sleep cycles / when to do your techniques, basic technique knowledge and how to pick one that's right for you, reality checks, what to do when you get into your first lucid dream, and other helpful sources. Before starting to use any techniques and try to start in lucid dreaming, you'll want to have a solid base in regular dreaming, particularly recalling your dreams. Some of you watching may be tempted to say that you rarely have dreams, or even go as far to say that you never have them at all. This is not true. It is probably just the case that you do not remember them. A very common way that is highly respected in the community to help you remember your dreams is called a dream journal. Every morning, take 5 to 10 minutes to write down as many dreams you remembered in as much detail as you can manage. If you can't remember the dreams that you had, that's fine. Simply write that you didn't have any dreams. A simple sentence claiming that you didn't have them tonight leads to you having a much greater chance of remembering one tomorrow, as you're teaching the brain that dreams aren't important. Usually after 2 to 3 days of dream journaling, you should be able to start consistently remembering your dreams. Keep dream journaling until you feel confident remembering at least one dream per night for a minimum of a week, as vividness also follows recall. Then, you should be up to a point where you can start doing techniques and keep remembering dreams. You should never stop dream journaling for the entire time you are practicing lucid dreaming, because if you do, it's highly likely that you will fall back into the state of not remembering anything. Note that a consistent sleep cycle is also very helpful for both recalling dreams and getting lucid in them. So take some time to develop one if you feel like you can manage it. If not, just make a sleep cycle one of your long-term goals. The next thing you'll need to know we'll talk about, is when dreams happen. The time where the majority of your dreams happen, and the time where your dreams are the most vivid. Timing your practice to be in this time is crucial to getting the best results. On the screen now is a picture of the average night's sleep. Obviously, this is not what everyone's sleep will look like, but it's currently the closest we can get to an average. You can see that your REM sleep usually happens every 90 minutes and gets longer every cycle. This means that the best time to wake up and try techniques is not at the start of the night, as many beginners assume, but at 4 hours and 30 minutes into your night of sleep, not lying in bed, 6 hours into your sleep, or in morning naps. If you want the best chance of getting your first lucid dream soon, then make sure to be practicing all of your techniques in one of these time frames, or find your REM cycle so that you can be 100% sure that you're getting the most out of your techniques. Some good ways to wake yourself up without an alarm are by using a mantra, my personal favorite, or by drinking water before bed, not quite recommended. You can see a video in the description for more advice on this. Quick tip, it's better to be early than late. Techniques are arguably the easiest part of this process. Now that you know when to do your techniques, you'll have to pick one to start trying. There are 2 categories of technique. Wild, which is a wake-initiated lucid dream, in which you join the dream while staying conscious, and dialed, which is a dream-initiated lucid dream, where you get conscious from inside of the dream. It is strongly suggested that you pick a dialed technique to start out, since these are strongly regarded as the easier type. There are heaps of techniques in this category, but the recommended ones are mild, wake back to bed, and SSILD. Note that techniques are entirely dependent on the person, and these are just the most reliable ones for a beginner. You can search for how to do these techniques either online or go to one of the links in the description. Also, take note that you should never do a technique for one night and then rule it off as not working. Hopping from technique to technique is one of the worst things to do as a beginner, and sticking with a technique for at least 2 to 3 weeks with no progress is the minimum time to change techniques. Reality checks are an important part of a lucid dreamer's day-to-day life, and a beginner should be doing them as much as possible with a minimum of 5. There are, like techniques, a range of reality checks that you could choose from. The most common being the nose pinch, finger count, and hand press. Each of these reality checks is performed differently, but all serve the same purpose: to tell whether you are truly in a dream. After performing one of these reality checks, you should make sure to take full note of the outcome. The purpose of doing this practice is so that when you're in a dream, you can hopefully gain the feeling of wanting to do your reality check. This will help with any technique you do and give you a greater chance of becoming lucid. Just like dream journaling, you should work this into your lifestyle and try to practice them as much as possible for the best results. For more information, look at this video, which will be in the description. Finally, after doing all of these things and staying consistent, you should be able to get into your first lucid dream. But what should you do now? Well, the obvious thing to do is whatever you want, but there may be some small things to do that can enhance your experience. First of all, stabilizing is a common practice once you get into the dream. The most common form of stabilization is activating all of your senses, but there are other ways as well which you could search up, or we will be uploading a video in the future dedicated to stabilizing. The reason lucid dreamers do this is because after the shock of getting into lucid dreams, and sometimes from peeling off the story of the dream, it can start to become unstable, and restabilizing helps to extend the duration and vividness of your dream. After doing one of these things, the dream should be ready for you to start doing anything you want. But don't worry if you don't feel like stabilizing in your first dreams. This is simply something to do to improve your experience. Note that control may not come naturally, but nevertheless, have fun. Hopefully after watching this video, you understand what you should be doing to start out lucid dreaming. Check the description for all of the helpful links, and after understanding all the concepts in this video and doing all of the practices that we talked about, you should be able to pick a technique and start getting some lucid dreams. Some final notes for this video is that if you want to learn more about lucid dreaming, but don't want to wait for us to upload again, some sources you may find useful are the Discord server, which is linked in the description, where people of all skill levels are ready to help you. Reading Stephen LaBerge's book Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming is extremely helpful, and some other reliable YouTube creators are out there. All of these links will, once again, be in the description for you. Thanks for watching, and happy dreaming.